What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Climb Together podcast. I'm your host, Tony Score, up here with my co-host, Deception. Deception, say hi.
What up?
Welcome back for episode 142. We're doing this a little differently today. We're doing it on Tuesday, not a Wednesday, so for live. Sorry for the confusion. We just, busy. Sometimes we be busy on the days and the times that we do
Lots
the
of things
podcast.
happening,
Yeah. So, and then,
especially around the holidays.
Yeah, I was just about to say, especially with the holidays coming up, like things are busy. So we're not gonna have a podcast next week. And the podcast on, I think it's New Year's Day, is New Year's Eve. That one is TBD. But
Yeah, we're still figuring out whether we are gonna do one that day or not.
yeah, that one's TBD. So,
I mean, everybody that's been here for a while and watched the podcast knows that November and December are like all over the place for us.
I'm surprised I did the podcast through finals. Usually I bow out.
That is true. I remember last time around finals, we had like 2 or 3 weeks with zero podcasts, and
Yeah.
then I think we had a couple weeks with no podcasts, and then obviously we rarely do podcasts around Christmas because usually we're busy like all the time
Mm-hmm.
that week. And then we didn't do one until like first or second week of January, I think.
Yeah. So, um, this
We're
time is a
trying
little
to
different.
instead of just chalking it if we can't do it on Wednesday, we're trying to find some workarounds.
Yeah. Just because, I mean, I feel like it's just better. I like doing the podcast, and I feel like it's just like the consistent thing that we have as both creators, like for both of us, even especially me. Just like the one thing that I sit
Yeah.
down and I do, and I feel like I've like accomplished, and I just feel like I feel like we're really adding value with our podcast. Some podcasts, I'm gonna be careful how I word this. It's not that they don't add value; it's just they're not. Sometimes they're just yap sessions and there's no real sustenance to them, which is fine. Everybody's got their own cup of tea, what they like, what they don't like, whatever.
Sometimes those podcasts are fun.
Yeah. Where you just shoot the shit, whatever. And yeah. But I feel like our podcast really goes into depth on some certain topics and really brings a certain perspective. Two different perspectives, obviously, like Deception and myself. We're very different people, with very different backgrounds, but it's similar in some ways. And we come together and we do these podcasts, and I feel like we really add a lot to these topics and these conversations around these topics that I feel like.
Well, and we throw in some yap sessions sometimes. Like I
Oh
know,
yeah,
like
100%.
we haven't had a guest in a while, but we usually do yap session type podcasts when we have a guest because
Yeah.
when we do a podcast with a guest, we do a lot less like lining out topics for us to talk about, less things about COD and all that. And basically, like when we do guest podcasts, it's just like all about the
Podcasts.
guests,
Yeah, so I
which is
mean,
fun. I like it.
yeah. So that's usually during, like, I don't know, we gotta do another one. I think we're overdue for a guest podcast.
I agree.
I have some suggestions that I don't want to like. I don't want to. I don't want to add. I don't want to say anything, and then it not happen. So I have some suggestions off stream for who we should bring on. Okay. Um. So yeah. So, going into this week, kind of talking about what's the main thing here is so. For those of you guys that don't know or you kind of do know, there's this leaker for Call of Duty, and just like shooters in general. Usually, he kind of does a little bit of he dabbles. Um,
Mostly
he
COD.
yeah. So he did a leak. Uh,
I'm glad that you said he did leak and he leaked. That's
he did
a
a leak. Where he was talking about Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4, which is to be the rumored to be the next Call of Duty.
Yeah,
Um,
we've basically known that MW4 was be the next game for like
yeah,
well over a year now.
yeah.
Like
I mean,
it
it's
was
like,
rumored that like Sledgehammer might be making a game after Treyarch. Um but then like sometime around this time last year, maybe a little bit earlier than that, it got debunked and everybody was like, "Oh, Sledgehammer." Uh, all the leakers were like, "Okay, Sledgehammer's like probably taking a year or two step back from that, and Infinity Ward will be making the next game after these two Treyarch games." And we all basically knew it was MW4. And I will say up front, like even like months ago, even maybe a year ago, we were hearing stuff about MW4 that was along the lines of what Hope ended up leaking here.
mhm.
Like we've known about this for a while. It's not like to preface what he's saying in this tweet, w- like it's not like he just pulled this out randomly and
No,
just
he is
decided to tweet
very
it. We've known about this
credible,
for months. There have been multiple people who have tweeted about MW4 and been saying the same thing.
and he's also a very credible leaker. Like a lot of the, like most of the time, like it's hard to leak stuff. You know, you have to have good contacts and whatnot. But like
Well,
the
yeah, and
stuff that he leaks
you have
is,
to have some sort of credibility for
yeah.
people to actually believe you. And
Because you can
Hope
just
is
go on the
really
internet and
good.
say you can just go on the internet and say stuff like like what there's like there's this line, I guess, where like you can just, so he's built this credibility for a long time. I think since Modern Warfare he's been, it's in one of the tweets
First
through.
time I heard about him was when he was leaking stuff about Cold War.
Yeah. So but he's been leaking for a long time, and he has very like he has good contacts that he like, you know, leaks information from. Like, I mean, obviously like they're private, but
And he's
um
very rarely been wrong.
yeah. So like,
He has gotten some things wrong,
but that's kind of like to
but like
be,
a lot of the stuff he's gotten wrong has either been this was going to happen and it got scrapped, this was going to happen but it happened but in a different way, or I just heard this and thought I would say it and hey, it was wrong. Whatever, I didn't really confirm it.
yeah.
That's basically like
They'll be
all the
like,
ways
well,
he's been
there's,
wrong.
he'll like preface too when he says stuff like that. Like when he just pulls it, just like, well, this could happen, but I'm not sure though. I don't know the legitimacy of this one, but so then Infinity Ward came out with this tweet saying, "Happy holidays, everyone, everybody. Wishing our community an awesome holiday season and looking forward to talking soon. Don't believe everything you read on the internet. See you in 2026."
Yeah, that was basically that was a very it was definitely a they threw a subliminal at Hope, but
Oh, 100%,
it was
100%.
very much a rebuttal to the Hope tweet that went kind of viral where he was like, "Yeah, so MW4 is basically just a copy paste of MW2."
Yeah. And they're like, "Nuh-uh," because COD just, if you guys remember our last podcast, we just talked about how Call of Duty just put out that statement about how they're going to over deliver, and they know what people want. And so a copy paste of Modern Warfare
Yeah.
2, which was arguably one of the more arguably one of the worst CODs in the past 10 years. I don't even think it's arguably, it
Yeah, I
is
mean,
one of the
I
worst
said it
CODs.
during that podcast. I said that the main people I was worried about was Infinity Ward, and Hope just kind of confirmed the worries that I
Yeah.
had.
I mean, it's just like like Modern Warfare 2 is like one of the worst Call of Duties we've had in recent years. A lot.
Honestly, like with most people, I think most people, some people have a soft spot for MW19, but I think most people can say the worst COD, like as a consensus, like probably like the three ones that you hear the most is probably MW19, Vanguard, MW2. Honestly, like in my opinion, I think that MW19 has a little bit of redeeming quality. I think MW2 is the worst. I think MW2 is the worst COD
Yeah,
ever.
Modern Warfare 19, I think it was just so monumental because of Warzone being added to it. And I think a lot of the times people clump those two things together. And it's not like it was a bad Call of Duty. It's just there were certain aspects that like people were looking for that they didn't
The
get.
reason why MW19 and people think that it's bad, like, is because they basically took away everything that like people liked about COD, like almost everything. Um, and like there was even a tweet I saw earlier today about like somebody was compiling all the things that Infinity Ward have done that have made COD worse. And like most of those items happened in MW19. And the thing about MW2, and the reason why I say that it's worse, is because they just took what people didn't like about MW19, doubled down on it, and made other things that were also really bad.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean I see why people don't like Modern Warfare 19. I personally am one of those people that have a soft spot for it just because of just how much I spent on that game, like how much time I spent on the game and the memories I had. I think just that's why there's a soft spot for me for that one. But yeah, I do agree with you. Like a lot of the things that we don't like about Call of Duty today were introduced in that game. But so,
Well, and in my opinion, I think a lot of the stuff about why MW19 is bad is partially down to the maps that they put out.
oh yeah, they're not.
I think that most of the launch maps in MW19 were really bad. Um, there were like a couple good ones outside of like the obvious favorite shoot house shipment.
Hmm.
I didn't even think shipment in that game was very good. I thought that was the worst shipment that we ever had,
Yeah.
mostly because of the spawns, but you know.
What are you gonna
But like,
do? What are you gonna?
you get me on shoot house and MW19, I'll look at you and I'll be like, hey, this game is not bad. Like, there's still some things I don't like about it, but hey, shoot house is pretty fun. If there were other maps like that in the game, or if they did more of a like BO7 type map uh design, I think MW19 would have been better than it was. Like
Yeah,
even MW2, like the one thing about MW2 that I can say is they had pretty decent maps. Like the design of the game was really bad. The maps were not bad.
agreed. I think they just like I just think there was a lot that they could done better, but they didn't. So that's just that's just my opinion on it. Um, but so anyway, so oh, Jesus Christ, if I could like configure my thoughts here. So Hope put out a response tweet essentially, because he definitely felt targeted by this, especially since he just put out this
Oh
leak like
yeah.
literally like right before this post and yada yada yada. So he says, I'm just gonna read it quick for those of you and not watching. Just gonna address this because it seems like the perfect time to do so. I've been leaking Call of Duty for years, and anybody who has followed me for a long time knows that. Correct. I have leaked a ton of things about Vanguard, Modern Warfare 2, Modern Warfare 3, BO6, BO7 before anyone else. I have I gotten some things wrong in the past? Sure, no doubt about it, and I will own that. But the idea that I make shit up or that I do this with hate in my heart, like some people in the replies like to imply, is not true at all. The fact that a billion-dollar studio has gone out of its way to generically deny two of my most recent leaks when they've never done it before, nor towards others, is frankly very weird and should raise some red flags about why they do such a thing when they never did it before. I have largely kept the same sources for years, and my Modern Warfare 4 leak is no different to that. I would never sink my reputation with COD leaking that I've built over the years on faulty, unverified info. Honestly, that's totally fair. I mean, I mean we just talked about this. He's a very credible leaker, and why would he just make shit up to sink his reputation using his words? Um and I think
Well, and he also talks about how like a $1 billion studio, like never has he leaked something, even the bad things, and a studio has like said something about it publicly.
they never do
Like
it. They never do it.
none of them have ever been like, "Hey, we heard like some leaks about this, and we're gonna clarify it." Like this has
No.
never happened ever.
No,
And
especially
not
pre-launch.
only they clearly targeted him because this happened. They tweeted this not even the day after he tweeted the thing about MW4. But the reason why I think he's taking it personally, which is fair, is also because he's not the only person that said this. There have been multiple people, like I said before, there have been
Mhm.
multiple people in the past few months that have tweeted things about MW4. Like, um, I don't remember what the guy's name was, but there was another guy that was like, "Oh, I'm getting leaks about MW4. I'll tell you what's going on." And like he tweeted a whole thread of like he was like, "Oh, tax printing is back, doors are back, no dead silence, all this," and everybody was like going crazy about it. And Infinity Ward could have like made a tweet at that point, and been like, "Hey, this game's still in early development. Don't believe what you're saying." But they didn't do that. They waited until Hope made this tweet about MW4, and it kind of got more traction than most of his stuff does. And then they were like, "Oh, now we're gonna say something."
Yeah, I think this is this is my hypothesis based off of just my knowledge of PR and just the way that companies try to like save grace, I guess. Um so that tweet coming out shortly after, literally like a week, less than after COD just put up this whole big announcement saying that they're gonna change and they're gonna do better, yada yada yada. I think that it shook their boots a little bit because I mean, Infinity Ward is not known for putting out the best games. I mean, that's just Treyarch definitely holds the torch on that one.
Well, yeah, and
Um,
you can tell because even when they put out that tweet, you just knew everybody was looking at Infinity Ward like, "Oh, guys, you better step up."
yeah, even like because like and the thing is COD is it's such a point right now. BO7's a good fucking game. I'm not gonna lie, it gets some hate. You know, campaign could use some work, but it's a good game. Like I really enjoy playing Warzone. Like I really enjoy playing this game, and I think a lot of people that play this game also agree with me. But the Call of Duty has lost a lot of its player base over the years, just from shitty game after shitty game after shitty game. Specifically, Modern Warfare 2, and then Modern Warfare 3, and then BO6 sucking, and that was just kind of like the final straw for people. You know, these back to like well, starting with like Cold War brought a lot of people in, but Vanguard brought a lot of people out, and then Modern Warfare 2 right after Vanguard just like was like, okay, two bad CODs in a row, what the fuck? And so people were just very upset, and so they just didn't buy this game. Sales are down. We all know it. They didn't haven't publicly said it, but player counts down and a lot. Player count down down a lot, which is saying something because it's been down since the beginning. And usually people are playing launch weekend, especially when they buy a new game, and it's just people just aren't buying or playing this game. There's a lot of people that I know personally that normally buy COD that haven't bought this one yet. Um,
Yeah, there are
so
just a lot of factors leading to that, and it really sucks. Like, because like we've talked about, it's like BO7 is a really good game in my opinion.
yep,
Like, I think it's the best game we've had in quite a long time. And the problem is they're just because of the franchise fatigue, the a lot of people getting turned off by the matchmaking. They've just like because of all these factors, they've just gotten burned out.
yep.
And even though BO7 is a genuinely good game, they just have already checked out on COD and they're not here to see it.
Yeah, so I mean, and if they do bad next year, they're gonna lose even more people, and that's the hard part. I mean, they have a lot to lose here if they don't perform next year, especially after making such a big promise. I think that promise might have set them up for that would probably, I think that might be the tipping point for them because if they really don't deliver, I think that is what's gonna do it for a lot of people, and it's gonna show that Call of Duty just really doesn't care about its player base,
Yeah.
and they have the option to do these things. And like I understand like this logistics and the money behind it and whatever, but like there comes a certain point where you have to think if we put out a good game, we're gonna make more money than if we put out a bad game. At this point, they can't get away with putting out any more bad games. They have to be on their A game. They have to make every better game better than the last one. And
Well, and not even like just developing the game and launching it. They got to make sure the game is good throughout the entire
yep,
year because that was the problem with BO6 is like BO6 when it launched, yeah, there were still quite a few problems. And it definitely wasn't anywhere near as good as BO7 is right now. But it had the potential. Like you could tell BO6 could be good. It could be really good. And it was, I genuinely think it was a good game at launch. But it's just like somehow throughout all the seasons of BO6, it just kept getting worse. Like I don't think there was a point in the entire DLC of that game where it got better. Like there's a lot of games where like maybe they didn't start out that great, but like, hey, the first couple seasons were pretty good. It improved. Like but BO6 just got worse the entire time.
Yeah. So I think it's it's gonna be a very difficult process for them to
Yeah.
recover from, and if they don't, you know,
Well,
I mean,
especially with Infinity Ward being the next
yeah,
studio to put out a
it's
game.
looking rough.
Uh
It's looking
Now
rough.
I will say I'm not holding my breath, okay? Like I'm gonna say it right now. Um and you guys will see it in probably 8 or 9 months whenever we get to see and play MW4. If Infinity Ward genuinely makes a good game, they don't revert everything bad, they keep all the good things in, and MW4 is a genuinely good game, I will praise it for being a genuinely good game, and I will play it a lot. I'm not gonna I'm not just gonna sit here and discount Infinity Ward completely. Like I will give them their credit if they make a really good game. But so far, they have not shown me that they can do that right now.
Yep. Agreed. So I mean, they have to show up. They have to do their thing. Well, not do their thing. Do a different thing that actually makes a good game. But kind of looking at more of the leaks. I mean, we were kind of talking about earlier all the things that an Infinity Ward uh
Oh
kind
yeah.
of brought into the game. Very long list.
Well, I know when you when you look at this list, I can tell you just based off of like what's on the list. Okay, tax sprint was an MW19 thing. Satcoms were more of a ghost thing, but they kind of carried over to MW19 and MW2. Uh, no red dots for MW19. No dead silences MW19. Doors were MW19. Charging perks was MW2. That was one of the things that they did that
I
was
did
really
not.
bad. Um, Seasonal system was MW19. The heavy skill based matchmaking was MW19. Safe space map design was MW19. Ruining shipment was partially a ghost thing and partially an MW19 thing. Like the ghost version of shipment, people don't remember that much because it was last DLC, but it really wasn't that great. MW19 shipment was a lot worse though. Um, Disbanding lobbies, MW19. Um, Warzone and the features leaking into other modes. Now, the disclaimer here is that Nero's not saying that Warzone is bad. It's just Warzone blew up so much that for a few years, COD just wanted to try to make everything kind of like Warzone
Hmm.
instead of having like multiplayer and zombies like standout. They were just trying to Warzoneify everything. And obviously that started in MW19. Um, TTK issue, MW19. Um, the UI being an issue actually wasn't until MW2. That was when they launched the terrible COD HQ that we still have to deal with and all the UI issues. Um, Nameplates being removed is MW19. Uh, it is true that Infinity Ward uh, was rejecting a lot of Sledgehammer's ideas about MW3. MW3 could potentially have been even better. But sadly, we don't get to see that. The Ghost Prestige system was really bad. Um, if people don't remember, or they didn't play Ghosts. Basically, you had character slots basically where it was just you could play. You had all kinds of different characters you could play, like skins, basically, and you could only get the character up one prestige. But the more characters you had prestige, the higher your actual prestige rank went. It was really stupid. Uh, Insane Visual Recoil was MW19 and MW2. Although
Oh,
I will say it was a lot worse than MW2. MW19's wasn't quite as bad. Um, Attachment tuning was an MW2 thing. Um, I would say attachment tuning was not really necessarily a negative thing. It was just useless. Like attachment tuning, it either made your gun worse or it just did nothing. Um, Downsides on attachments was an MW19 thing, although it got even worse in MW2. Like people found that oftentimes running a gun with no attachments was better than running it with good attachments. Um, Gunsmith was an MW19 thing, but it only got worse over time. The night vision maps was mostly an MW19 thing, but there were some really bad ones in MW2, and they finally decided to put those in. But yeah, I mean, all of these are Infinity Ward things. All of these are either MW19 or MW2 outside of some ghost things, but all of these are really bad.
yeah. So hopefully, that's what.
Well, I mean, just think about it. If Hope is right, then we're going to be seeing all of those things in MW4.
Yep.
Oh yeah, the mounting and leaning was really
That's
stupid
really
too.
bad. Drip
Like,
feeding, projectile bullets instead of hit scan. Can't. Oh my god, the bullet thing where you actually can no longer put custom
oh
game
yeah, the
timer on
the bullet
unlimited.
velocity type thing. Thank goodness that BO7 kind of fixed that.
Yeah.
Because did you? I actually don't even know if you know this. I don't know if a lot of people know this, if they can actually tell. But did you know that on every gun in BO7 there is a certain range where they're all hit scan?
Hmm.
It like varies depending on the gun. I don't know if it's gun class dependent or gun specific, but there is a range in BO7 where all guns are hit scan. And each gun has a different hit scan range. And basically like if you look at like there are some attachments that increase your bullet velocity. They do increase bullet velocity like when the gun actually has like projectile bullets, but it also increases their hit scan range, which is interesting.
All right. Fair enough. I don't know. I just kind of to wrap this up because I mean we can beat this dead horse all day. That infant is not the better of the two developers, but
Well, and it sucks too because like old Infinity Ward, everybody was like, it was a serious debate whether old Infinity Ward or Treyarch was better, and
no,
like it
it's
was
not.
pretty down the middle. And now, like, I feel like it's almost unanimous that Treyarch is the best COD developer.
Yeah. Yeah. So kind of wrap this up. Hopefully, hopefully Hope's wrong. I don't think he's going to be, but I mean, I think they'll probably see that and see the negative reaction
The
and make
COD
some
fan in me
changes.
hopes he is wrong, but the
We lose.
cynic that wants Infinity Ward to die hopes he's right.
Fair enough. So, kind of moving away from that, well, staying with COD obviously because we are mostly a COD podcast. Going over kind of the matches from this weekend. Um, we had a few. I think one of the most notable one is the Falcons finally kind of getting their steps in. They're
Falcons
finally.
got in a groove a little bit against
Mhm.
Carolina. They were
Mhm.
looking good. I mean, sadly they they didn't do that great against LAT, but it's LAT.
Yeah, but they were 22-50, 166 in the hard point, 6-2 in the search, 4-2 in the overload. So I'm glad that they're making their comeback because they really do have a good squad. Just to put it to good use. Then we had Boston win 3-2 against Minnesota. Um, Minnesota
Oh, that
dogging
was
on
an
their own team.
absolute choke out of Minnesota. That was a reverse sweep.
Yeah,
Minnesota looked like they were going to dominate that series, and then Boston fired back. That was a good one.
and then we had Koi versus Surge. Koi going 3-0 against Surge, which I'm assuming is what triggered their drop of legend this week. I saw something that Bance tweeted that I think he makes a really solid point. Is you pick up someone who is a great FPS player in general, who is going straight to pro, the professional level in another game from Halo, Legend speaking, and surround him with a bunch of amateur talent and not giving him the time to develop in this game, and then dropping him because he wasn't. It seems a little unfair to me,
Yeah, that's what
but
really sucks. Is like I wish that Vancouver would have at least like tried to get one veteran on the team. Like I've heard rumors that they're going to try to pick up TJ. Imagine how much better like a legend could develop if he already had a veteran on the team. Like I mean, because like Bance is right. It's like you're taking a guy who is like barely played any COD because he was a Halo pro, and you're putting him with amateurs who have never played in the CDL. Like, what are we doing?
so I think I mean he got just got picked up. They just announced that he got picked up on the Stallions with Havoc. So I think they'll do really good there. I think that'll be his like
Oh, I
is
think he'll yeah
I
Havoc is
think he'll really
Havoc would
develop.
be very very helpful. I think that him on Stallions giving him some time to like develop. I think that'll be great.
I think he's going to be a really great player. I think he's going to develop into something really special and make regret their decision. Honestly, I think that was a really bad move by then. But then again, we're not in the room. We're not on the team. We don't know what's going on. But that's just our perspective from the
Yeah,
outside.
it's just one of those things with like a lot of these Halo players is like just what's you just don't know what's gonna happen. It's
Yeah.
really a toss up because like you look at uh you look at like Bound and Renegade tried playing for uh the Optic Academy team, which are the Huntsmen, which I think is really cool that they're using the Huntsman brand in Challengers.
Mm-hmm.
But like Bound and Renegade tried to play at Challengers with Huntsman, and Bound ended up bowing out because he was just like, I can't get into this. Like I'm not feeling very good at COD. Um, Meanwhile, Renegade is excelling. He's really good. He is looking good.
Mm-hmm. So I'm excited to 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 see what they can do down there in Challengers. I think it's gonna be a good time.
It's going to be
Um.
interesting seeing all these Halo matchups because now you're
Oh
going to have
yeah.
like Stallions with Legend and then the Huntsman with Renegade.
Mm-hmm.
Like Challengers, honestly, that I hate to say it because there's so many amateur players that have been trying for so long in Challengers, but I hate to say it to like ruin their potential, but like the Halo guys are really gonna spice up Challengers, I think.
Agreed. So kind of looking at the next match, we had Paris go 3-0 against LA. I mean, LA Thieves really aren't putting on the performance that I
Dude,
think that they really
I
should
thought
be.
that was going to be a blockbuster matchup. I was like, this is going to be awesome. And it was an absolute beatdown.
Yeah,
It was so bad.
it's actually really it's kind of like sad, honestly. Like if I'm being real, like it's pretty sad that they did so bad. LA Thieves is just like their roster, like on paper, is just an actually monumental team, and I just it's kind of unfortunate that they weren't able to perform to their full potential, honestly. So that's kind of
You know,
sad.
LA Thieves, like when I look at LA Thieves, when I see how they're playing, they almost look like they almost look like uh the the subliners from MW3. Cuz you remember in MW3 when it was like there was a top 4 and then everybody else. But like subliners were definitely top 4 worthy, but they were the weak link. It was like the subliners would always beat like the bottom 8 teams, but they rarely ever beat the top 4 teams. That's like
Mhm.
what's happening to Thieves right now. Like Thieves dominate the bottom teams. They're very good all the way up to like top 4, But they go against the top 4 teams and they just can't win.
Yeah. So I think I don't know. I just deja vu, deja vu. Then
Yeah,
moving
it was
on.
that was a terrible series for LAT. I mean, I believe the Gentlemates are the first team to ever max score in Overload. Um,
CDL match.
Ghosty came out with the CDL record for KD. He had a 2.14 in that game in that series. Unbelievable.
There was some personal. There might have been some personal feelings behind this one.
Yeah, there haven't really been a lot of 2 KDs, and Ghosty putting up a
Mm.
2.14 against
Against
LAT is
against his previous
that is a
team. I
statement.
mean, that is saying something. They did kind of pass him an envoy up for other peeps, but going on to the next match of Saturday, which was Texas versus Miami. Heretics once again. That spot is once again proving to be a thorn in Texas' side. Obviously, they still won, but
Oh, dude, it
um,
was
it
close.
was a close
They
one. I
took it to
mean,
a game 5, and it was a nail biter.
so I mean,
I don't know what it is about Heretics, but it's
it's the
just
colors, bro. It's the
them
colors.
against Optic. It's scary, bro, and it's been years. It's even been going back to like the Mutineers.
Mm-hmm.
Like you even look at that. Holy moly,
It's two
that
fifty to
hard
one
point,
eighty eight in the
two
hard point.
fifty to 249 in
Yeah,
game
that
4.
last one was close, and then and six to
Yeah, that
four in the
was
final search and destroy.
dude.
Really close games. Really,
Yeah, it was a nail biter. That was honestly, I think this was probably the best series of the weekend.
and especially
Um,
with how dominant Optic has been. Um, I think that these colors, I think the colors is what does it. Personally,
I mean, hey, Optic are 3-0 though. They are now, um, thanks to LAT losing to Gentlemates, they are the only team in the league now that's undefeated.
nice. Let's go Optic.
Granted, it's only been 2 weekends, but
Hey, a win's a win. And then the final match of Saturday was Cloud9 versus Surge, another 3-0 on under Surge's belt on the
yeah,
weekend.
I
And
mean,
it's not
there's
looking
not a
good for
whole
them.
lot to say about
Yeah.
any of the Surge games. They were just getting beat down.
Yeah. It was not
They were
good.
getting destroyed. Surge have been having a rough time.
Yeah.
Surge have looked like outside of the only thing that like I would say that this Surge team is doing better than last year's Falcons team is Surge have actually won a couple maps. But yeah, I mean this this Surge team right now has got to be like bottom 5 CDL team ever.
Yeah. Um and then speaking of the Falcons, they go 3-1 against Breach. Now making
Oh
them
yeah.
2-2 in this series, well in this season, which honestly they really are starting to catch their stride, and it's good to see the Falcons
Yeah,
finally breaking that
there was a lot
curse.
of drama in that one because
Yeah.
there's some clips of Celium snaking, which go figure.
Yeah, I mean, Solium's a little
That's what
snake.
Celium does.
Yep. That's his thing. Um that's just what he do. But
uh,
yeah.
that's Celium for you.
Yeah, and then we had Heretics versus Cloud9, 3-2, and then 3-2 for FaZe versus
Man,
Koi.
Heretics had some gruelers this weekend.
Yeah, they did.
Two game
Um,
fives.
they were putting up the numbers. What can I say? They
Koi
didn't come to
narrowly
lose.
losing to Vegas. I did say it. I think that I think Vegas just need a little bit of time
Mhm.
to really like get their momentum going, get warm in the CDL with this new team. But FaZe, they're looking good. I I still think that they have some potential left. I don't think they've hit their ceiling. I think that I think that honestly like and we'll see when we get to when it's major time and we make predictions for that. But um, I'm gonna make some potentially bold predictions about phase at the major. I think that they still have quite a few things to work on, but I do see the potential.
Yep. Agreed. Just another decent weekend of Call of Duty. This weekend got some more match. We've got no matches this weekend. We're on a break until
Yeah, those were
January
the last
9th.
matches of the year. We get
Yep,
2 weeks off.
2 weeks off. Um, 3 weeks off actually. 4 from matches. So, um, lock in. Play the game, and I think there's probably gonna be some more roster changes before the next time. We see
Yeah,
this.
I wouldn't be
So,
surprised if a few players have
oh yeah,
their Christmas ruined by
yep,
roster changes.
yep. Would not be surprised at all. Um, anything else you would like to discuss? Deception,
Not really. I mean, we didn't. It's
light week.
funny that we it's funny that we wanted to get a podcast out so soon this week because we didn't have a lot to work with, but we're trying not to miss weeks as much as possible.
Yeah, we're trying to be on it, pushing through and continuing. But thank you guys so much for tuning into this episode of the podcast. If you guys did enjoy, make sure you guys follow us both live on, where we stream this live on Twitch, usually every Wednesday at twitch.tv/tonage_corp and twitch.tv/deception276. If you guys are watching on YouTube, make sure you guys like the podcast and subscribe to the channel. We have all the other podcasts. Go give them a listen. Take a trip down memory lane, such and so forth. Deception, say bye.
Bye.
See you guys next time. Peace.